Whew. All right, man. Y'all ready for this? The Carolina Panthers had a tough Monday night showing against the San Francisco 49ers, losing 20-9 in what was a very uneventful game. And there are things that have to be discussed, and that's exactly what we're going to do here today on Jim Dropper Sports. Let's get it. So the Carolina Panthers come out on Monday Night Football on the road in Santa Clara, having everything in front of them. The division's right there for the taking with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers losing the night before to the Los Angeles Rams. The playoffs are right there. It would be a big victory if you got it over the 49ers for tiebreaker's sake if you're not able to win the division. And they squandered it. This was one of those games where I know there have been multiple games this season where Panthers fans have felt like, it's all right there for us. That game's going to really haunt us. And those games have been the Arizona game, the New Orleans Saints, and now this one would fall under that category as well. But see, here's my thing. This game is the absolute worst. This is absolutely the worst. And the reason why I say that is because, in the Arizona game, they jumped out on you so quick and you made so many early mistakes that I don't think you deserved. I can't feel bad about losing that game because if you just don't make those severe mistakes so early into the game, maybe that goes differently, right? New Orleans, that was a wholesale effort as a team that lost you that game. Defensively, offensively, you didn't have it either way. You had too many mishaps that happened in that game in order for me to say that, we should have gotten out. I mean, going in maybe, but this is the NFL, bro. Everybody has to come out and play. Any given Sunday, we know how this goes. This one, though, is the worst to me. This one is the most egregious because if I sit there and think about what happened in this game, how did this game unfold? How did we get here? 3 turnovers. Sorry, couldn't count there for a second. 3 turnovers forced by your defense. The first of which was the most egregious that you didn't score off of. 3 turnovers and only getting 3 points is absolutely unacceptable. That's what lost you this game. These are the opportunities that you have to take and you have to really hold on to if you're a Carolina Panthers team because, hey, you're not you don't have the strongest record. You don't have the tiebreakers over a lot of teams, but this is an opportunity to get those things. This would have been a huge tiebreaker over the San Francisco 49ers, and it would have put you ahead in the division, giving you a game cushion to where, hey, we know some more losses are probably coming down the pipeline. This one was right there. The San Francisco 49ers, they're a team that's hampered by injuries just as much as anybody else in the league. And early on, it wasn't like they didn't play, they didn't execute at a high level. Brock Purdy throwing those 3 interceptions put you right there in position, and they didn't have any real answers. Their answer was going to be Christian McCaffrey all night, all game. That's exactly what it was. He got a bulk load of the touches. The other guys made plays here and there, but nothing significant. George Kittle had some showings. But again, your defense as an overall unit played phenomenal. Gave you every single chance in the book in order to go take it. Your offense not being able to capitalize on any of that speaks to Dave Canales and Bryce Young. Those 2 guys have to come to the table and answer what the hell is going on. Now, the easiest thing for most people to do is blame the quarterback. And I think that's easy for teams that don't watch these teams closely or don't watch them intently. And I get this was the first time in a long time people have gotten a chance to really dive into what the Carolina Panthers look like. And this wasn't a great showing to show that. I know the numbers say what they are for Bryce Young, and I understand that those numbers don't qualify you to be considered a good NFL quarterback. And you would then look at the quarterback and say, oh, he's not good enough. I would tell you to look deeper. And this is where it comes down to being a fan of this team. I've watched this team all season. I've seen the play calling. I've seen what Dave Canales is capable of as a play caller. That wasn't a great showing of what he's been. Just even last week, going up against a better pass defense, that was not the guy that I saw call plays last night. No sense of creativity, no sense of self. Here's my thing. You go into a game where Rico Dowdle only touched the ball 6 times. That's unacceptable. 6 carries, unacceptable, dog. I think, and then to have the statement after the game being that, we wanted to build on what we did last week in the passing game. This isn't that. This isn't high school. This isn't college. This is the league. You take what teams give you and you adjust accordingly. Guess what great coaches do? You don't go into that game. That team, if you play to what your identity has been all season, which has been your ground attack. Bryce is a game managing quarterback. He is not gonna. I don't foresee franchise changing quarterback in his future. I don't foresee that. What I do see is a guy that can manage the game well. If you put him in the right position, he'll play well to it. I think he can have a game like he did last week against Atlanta, where you can put more of the onus on him and he can come through for you if need be. But where he's going to be the best at is that if he's insulated with a great run game, the ability to take some shots down the field to press the defense, that's going to be where I think he's going to be at his best. And for you not to do that at all, for you not to dial up any deep shots for your guys, for you not to lean on that ground game when that defense didn't. We don't even know whether they could stop the run or not, because you only gave us a small sample size of the ground game. So these are things that I can't buy into. I still believe, and I believe in both of these guys. Let me start by saying that I'm not one of those guys that are gonna jump on and off the bandwagon, depending on how the performance goes. This team is just inconsistent. Is what I said last week. Is what I've said prior weeks to that. That this is just what this team is gonna be. They're gonna be up and down. We're trying to find a middle ground, but and right now we just don't know what that looks like. And with 5 games left, we're not gonna know. We're not gonna get a real answer to that question. So that is what it is. Now everything's still out there in front of you, even with that. But what's now in front of you now is a litany of injuries. J.C. Horn going out with a concussion. The guy was throwing up after the second interception. I don't think he's playing this week, y'all. I just got, in my humble medical opinion, I don't think a guy that was throwing up during the middle of the game due to a concussion is likely going to play the following week. That doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Corey Thornton, your backup young corner, who has shown great signs and shown some real flashes of a guy that could play in this league, season ending injury with a broken leg. I think the other guys went down as well. Zavala went down. Obviously, you were down K. Mays. So there's a lot of things working against you, and you're on a short week at that. So for the Carolina Panthers, dog, this is going to be I'd say, for my Panther brethren, find something else to do this upcoming weekend. Thanksgiving is around the corner. Be with family. Take your girl out. Even if you don't have a girl, take yourself out. Go see a movie. Treat yourself. I think you got to focus on you this week. This is my note for all my Panther fans, man. Focus on yourself this week. This ain't the week to be locked in. Don't do that. Don't hinge your happiness on this. Do not hinge your happiness on this. But I will give credit though to Ejiro Avero's unit. His unit has made the most out of what they've been given. Absolutely, he hasn't been given the picks, like the draft capital, to go work with. I think he's made do with what he's gotten. Nick Gordon being one of those young guys, he still shows me great signs. Your secondary made plays. Kudos to his unit. But this team right here, man, it's the same story. It's the same story each and every week and finding that middle ground, man. And for me, I think my biggest issue is going to be this with Dave Canales. And I talked about this last week about these coaching matchups. Like when you get a chance to go up against guys that are at the upper echelon of your profession, and you get the opportunity to go up against those guys and test your mettle. Brother, that man tucked his private areas between his legs and ran, bro. I couldn't fathom it. I couldn't fathom just the conservative nature of his play calling while also not running the ball. That to me, I can't deal with. Because to me, if you're gonna play conservative with and you're gonna go to the ground game, that's one thing. If you're gonna play conservative with the passing game, that's a whole other ball game, because what that allows defenses to do is to tee off. Because if your route tree is working from 10 and in, and it's and there is no trickeration, there is no eye candy with what you're doing. You allow these defenses to just stand still and tee off and play with anticipation and then make plays. For a secondary that was banged up, that's the best thing you could have done for them. What you really want to do, and I'm saying this as a guy that didn't play past a year of college ball, but I would assume what you want to do is put these guys in flux. Make these guys have to be smart players in the back end, really play against their leverages, really see, hey, in a one-on-one scenario, can you stop our number 8 overall pick? Can you stop our first round receiver from last year? Can you stop Jalen Coker? Can you really affect these guys? Can you win in the one-on-one scenarios? And I would have thought that would have been what we would have done more. I would have thought maybe try to get Jimmy Horn out there in space. If they're playing with such a banged up group, that's what I would have thought. You would have thought that Robert Saleh had all of his guys. You would have thought Nick Bosa was there, Fred Warner, Mykel Williams. You would have thought all of these guys were on the field the way Dave Canales called this game. He called it as if this was a highly touted, vaunted 0-2 Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. That wasn't what that was. That wasn't what that was. And my biggest issue with Dave Canales for this week, and it's been this way in other weeks, is that if you're going to get into these coaching matchups against elite coaches and tuck tail and run, you don't need to be my head coach. Now, I believe in you. You've shown me, what irritates me is that you've shown us things that can be built upon, that can be heralded. You show me your creativity. You show me you got a pair on you that you'll go for the gusto. You've shown us all of those things, but some of the inopportune play calls, not leaning into who you've been all season, I can't get with. I can't get with it. The fan base can't get with it, and we shouldn't get with it, because you should be better than that. You should absolutely be better than that. And this is one of those things where, and I just got done talking with my homie Jack Taylor, part of the P1N network, you know what I'm saying, the P1N podcast. Go check that out. That'll be coming out here in another day or so. We talked about it. We talked about these offensive guru type of guys. And the one thing he said was, when you get these offensive minded guys, they're so dead set on making themselves right with how they score and with how they're successful, that if you end up losing everything in the process. You end up losing the fact that the focus on this game should be getting it done however you can, not getting it done the way you want to get it done. And understanding that, hey, if your identity has been your ground game, it been your physical nature, then that's what you need to lean into. Yeah, I mean, now things can also be said about Cade Mays not being there at center, because as we all know, Cade Mays has been a big part of the formula, at least for Bryce Young's sake, as to how he's been successful. When he's in at center, the operation is smoother. That just is what it is. I don't know what happens with Austin Corbett at center, but having to use him on the road at that in a big time environment probably wasn't the best case scenario for us, of course. But dog, y'all get paid, figure it out. I don't understand why it's so much different with Austin Corbett in at center. I'll leave it to my guys and the Panthers fandom to be able to help figure that out. But that is what it is. But back to the main point is that, with these offensive guru guys, man, they're so predicated on making themselves the man that was right in the end, that, the thing I miss about a guy like John Fox, the thing I miss about a guy like Ron Rivera, and the thing that I even miss about a guy like Steve Wilkes, and why you see Panthers fans talk about these guys in such high regard, is that these guys, if we know, brother, we're a ground and pound football team, it's 4th and 1. We know, and we don't give a damn. We're gonna run the ball right at you. So be it. Sometimes that's what it takes. And when you get these opportunities, when you get too cute, Bryce Young on the 1st and goal from the 1, like that. I didn't love the play call, but I also hated how Bryce handled this. Mitch Evans is open in the back of the end zone early. That ball's got to come out quick. In the red zone, that ball's got to happen. It's got to happen quick. Once we get into the scramble drill, somebody's got to uncover. But that formation, that package, that personnel group included Mitch Evans, Tommy Tremble, and Bryson Tremaine, which is historically this season been a run-heavy package. They passed the ball out of it some, but it's traditionally a run-heavy package. In that instance, it should have been a run-heavy package. On 1st and goal from the 1, you run that sucker right there. You run that sucker right at that defense and make them stop it. But whatever, man. Whatever. All that being said, the Panthers are 6-6, half a game out of first place in the division. Opportunity still there. I'm not done. We're not done. But brother, I don't know what next week will hold for us. With that being said, I'm your host, Sean T. Stewart. This has been Dread Rapper Sports. I will be coming out with more videos as the week progresses. And I'm out.